Welcome to my car. This is my favorite office. Like, if I am being honest, this is by far my favorite office. Give me hashtag live, hashtag replay. Let me know that you're here. If we've never connected before, my name is Nellie Corvo. Technology is not going to trip me up. If anyone knows the most reliable internet out there that I can access anywhere in the world, please let your girl know, because I have a really good mobile company, like mobile internet company, and I feel like maybe it's just me. Let me know if you have as many internet Wi-Fi technology challenges, and I'll go to like my co-working spot and have technology challenges there. I'll go home, I'll go to our lake house, I'll go to my car, I'll be in the car pickup line. I don't know what it is. I feel like the universe just can't keep up with me. Like, the internet can't keep up with me. We've got things to do. We've got people to talk to. So I just saw that my guest came on here. So let me get her hopping on here. Tag replay. If we never met before, my name is Nellie Corvo, and I am the CEO and founder of the Wealthy Mama Movement. Let's see if we can get her to come on. Hi. Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see. I can hear your mouth moving, and I can hear background. Can you say something? Yeah. Nope. Can't hear you. No! All right. Leave and try to come back. Yeah, come back. I'm talking to her like she can hear me, and she can't hear me. So, while we work on all the things, all the internet stuff, give me hashtag live, hashtag replay, time freedom. Why does it matter? I really think every mom wants more time freedom. That was me before I had kids. I was the woman working 60, 80 hours a week, nights, weekends, all the freaking time, and it was for $15 an hour. Like, it wasn't even like the trade-off of like, oh well, you have this multi-million-dollar thing, right? Like, even then, I feel like it's not, I don't want to say it's not worth it, but it doesn't feel the greatest. Like, we're going for the holy grail here. We're going for time freedom, money freedom, emotional freedom. Like, what we do at the Wealthy Mama Movement is about the holistic view of the whole entire person, and everyone is different. Each woman desires different time freedom goals. And so my encouragement for you is to check in with yourself, because money is going to come and go. We are spending and receiving every single day. It is coming in and out, and that's how it's supposed to be. However, I really encourage you to look at your time, who you're giving it to. How does it feel? How are you getting a return on investment from your time? And is it progressing in the way that you want it to be progressing? So I just want you to take all of those things into consideration as you are going on your journey, because time freedom isn't this magical event. It's the day-to-day of how things happen. Okay, fingers crossed. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yay!
Technology.
You gotta roll with it. Does it drive you crazy at times?
Absolutely.
It's definitely a blessing, and also I just sometimes want to be like, come on, this shouldn't be this hard.
Right?
Like, do your job, internet, do
Love
your job.
hate relationship here.
Well, I want to talk. Well, first and foremost, welcome Tegan
Thank you.
to today
Yes.
and all the things. I really would love to talk to you about time freedom. So you went from, your story is so incredible. So take us back to before, when you were working for somebody else, and how you built a multi six figure company that's growing, and you have, you get to pick up your son, like, you get to be there for him.
Yeah.
And so I just tell us all the things.
All the things, all the stories. Let's see. So mine, I have like a typical story like everybody else. Like, I went and followed what everybody is told, like in society, right? Like I graduated high school, I went to college, I got the degree, I did the things. Right out of college, I went right into corporate, and I thought that's where you were supposed to be, right? Like that's what everybody tells you to do. And I moved up the corporate ladder, and as I kept going, the last corporate job I had, I was actually a marketing director for a company, and I loved it. I dedicated so much time to that company. Like we're talking like 60 plus hours a week. Like I felt like I lived there. And along that journey, I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, oh, all of a sudden, like it was a whole new set of things, right? Like I didn't want to like give my time with my little one away or miss out on firsts or not be there to pick him up from school. And suddenly it was like a whole different ball game. And I actually like the universe kind of like gifted me the chance to leave, like luckily, but not until like later down the road. I actually worked like up until I went into labor. Like I was sitting on the couch working as my contractions are starting. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like this doesn't feel right. What is this? My mom's like, you're in labor. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go to the hospital. I'll put my laptop down. Sent my maternity leave notice, like, hey, I need to take my time off while I'm like delivering in bed. But it came back after 2 weeks of maternity leave, shortest ever. And after about 2 months of being there, I got called in for a meeting with the CEO and the COO, which is normal. They were my direct reports. And our meeting totally like took a shift that day. And it was all of a sudden like, hey, so we think you're not cut out to be a leader. We're going to go ahead and demote you.
What?
And I was like, sorry, what? Like, it like was the biggest like slap in the face, because I had taken this team from when I started, it was me and one other person, to at that point in time it was me and 15 people, and we had grown the revenue for the company by 700%. So it was like, what do you mean I'm not a leader? Like, can you explain to me? And they were just like, we just don't think you're cut out for it. And I'm like, it's because I had a baby.
I was about to say, do you think it has anything to do with, like, obviously that's illegal, and also
100%.
it's happening every day.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time to us moms. And so, like, of course, like, you can't really, like, argue too much with them. And I'm like, well, like, at the time I was the breadwinner of the family. So I'm like, well, at least I'm still getting a paycheck. Like, my pay doesn't drop. So I'll take it. But that was enough for, like, the universe to be like, hey, you should get your act together and go start something new. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, after, of course, being pissed for like 3 days and eating ice cream for like every night. I
appreciate the honesty.
I mean, let's be honest. I was like, this is stupid. Like, gallon of ice cream in my mouth. But yeah, I finally was like, okay, well, what skills do I have? What do I know how to do? And I had like 8 years of corporate behind me of like working in marketing, managing different things, doing all this stuff, learning how to do social media, email marketing. And so I took all of it and I was like, okay, look, I could start something on my own. Let's try it while I'm still working full time, while someone's paying me to do this. And so I worked my 9 to 5 for somebody, and then 5:01 until that second feed of the night, you know it, at like midnight,
Yep.
was Mama's business time. And I worked really hard on my business, and
Which,
I did
like,
some.
I want to pause there.
Yeah.
Like, this is what frustrates me about people thinking that moms can't, like, work and, like, kick ass and take care of their babies. Because, like, we work 24/7. Like, we are hustlers by nature, like, because we have to be. And so, like, when people underestimate moms, I'm really confused by it, because I'm like, if you followed a mom around a whole day, she would run laps around any man.
100%.
Like, so I just, 100%. It's a very big subject for me. Like,
100%. I think I read a study like last week that was something like, if they equated like moms to like a paying job, it would be something like they would work, it was like 186 hours a week or something like that, and should be making like $250,000 if they made minimum wage. And I was like, that sounds about right. Like,
right. Like, where's that paycheck?
I really like to get paid that. Who's going to pay out on that today? So, but yeah, like, we totally can hustle. Moms are like the epitome of multitaskers and hustlers. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I did meetings with him in like strapped to my chest and like a little carry-on, you know, we all do it. Like, bouncing up and down. I'm like, hey, yep, I'm just here on this meeting. He's having a fit. Let's keep going. Like, we're not going to change, or
Yep.
sneaking in nap times, whatever it might be. But working for free for a little bit, getting like my testimonials and portfolio built. And then after it took me about 3 weeks of like really working super hard to like decide to just shift. I had replaced my full-time monthly income, and I went to the full-time job, and I was like, I need to give me my 2 weeks notice. I'm done being here and being your punching bag. See you later. And I haven't looked back, and my business has just continued to build and build and build and build and build. So I'm going into my 9th year this year, which is insane. But
And I feel like as women, we don't, like, at least for me, I don't want to speak for you, like, that's a fucking huge accomplishment. Like,
yeah,
especially while raising your son. And I know that you've gone through lots of personal things through that
yeah,
time, and COVID, and like just all that, like just like sitting in awe of like, holy shit, I did that. Like, I created a life, kept a human alive,
yeah.
and built a multi 6-figure business, and left a draining job. Like, it's just like massive. Like,
It's huge. And
we
you don't
we
like,
downplay it
oh,
so much, and like,
oh, so bad.
and it's just
Women are
like,
so good at that.
we're very, very good at it. And
Yeah,
it is mind-blowing when you step back and think about, because you didn't have to do that. You could have either went to a different job, stayed in that job.
yeah.
So like, what was it for you? Like, obviously the demotion probably didn't feel the greatest, but like,
No.
you still built up the courage to figure out how to build a business, which takes a very special human being to, like, we're
Yeah.
wired a certain
We're
way.
wired.
Like,
We're different.
we're gonna figure shit out. But like,
Uh-huh.
what was it for you? Like, what was that like aha moment outside of the demotion of like, I'm gonna do this?
I think the biggest one for me was dropping him off. Like, so this job that I worked, even when I got demoted, they required me to come to the office 1 day a week, and then I got to work from home for the other 4, which is great because I still got to be there for nap time and data. But that 1 day a week, he got to go spend time with my mother-in-law and my mom, which was great because he got to go and see all those people. But still, like, watching, like, dropping him off at my mom's house, and then knowing, like, he might take his first like step, or he might do his first crawl, or he might sit up for the first time, and I'm not gonna be there. Like, my mom gets to see it, or my mother-in-law gets to see it, and I don't. It tore me apart. Like, it would keep me up at night because I was like, how do I make this work so that I can be there, because I don't want to miss those things. And my I went through a divorce after all of this happened. So I was married to my first husband at the time, and he was going to school to be a pilot. So it was like, he was gone all the time. It was just me. And I had made myself and my little guy a promise, like, still to this day, I'm like, I will be there for everything. I will be there for every football practice. I will be there for every assembly, every pickup, everything. Like, mom will never not be there for you because the other parent isn't. So if you need mom, I will be there. So I'm like, how do I make this work where I can be there for him? Because like, I refuse to not be there. Like, he is my number one priority in life. Like, that's how it's gonna happen. Like, even I got remarried in 2019, and when we started dating, like, I prefaced it, like, I think I asked him probably every month that we dated for a full 16 months, like, are you sure? Like, come with a kid.
Right.
He's gonna always be there.
Deal.
Like, it's okay to walk away. You can tell me no. And he was like, no, I'm in. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? But I mean, it ended up being the greatest thing. But I will always pick him first. Like, whatever he needs will come first before anything I do for myself. Yeah. So it was him. He was the person who gave me the courage to be like, nope, we need to start something different. I need to be there for him. So.
Well, and I think that's an important call out of, like, it is harder to make money as a mother, but it's also the biggest motivator. Like, I wasted so much time when I didn't have children. Like, so yes, I had all of this time freedom, but I wasted it. And so I think that there is, like, I would love to get your 2 cents on this. Like, I think that there's a big misconception with time freedom, because we're not going for, like, Lamborghinis and sitting on a beach in a private jet. Like most moms are like, I want to be there for school pickup, school drop off, the sick days, like, and we'll still be working. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's not like we're like, yes, every now and then it's nice to kick up your feet, but like, again, we're like hustlers by nature. And so I think that there's just on the internet, there's this big misconception of what time freedom means, and it's like so important to like check in with yourself on what it means, and to make sure that your life reflects that.
Yeah.
And like your life absolutely reflects that. So I would love to get your 2 cents on like how people perceive time freedom. How do you perceive it? All of those things.
Yeah. So I think, like, I'm so glad you brought it up, because actually I've been thinking a lot about it this week. Like, time freedom, I think, is perceived on like Instagram, TikTok, all those great places as, hey, I only work like a half an hour a day and I make like $18 billion a week. Like, you should join in. I'm like, what sorcery are you doing? Because any business that I have ever touched has never been like that. Like, ever, period. Like, any business that you work that's successful is going to take work, and it's more than a half an hour a day.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what sorcery you're doing, but no. So for me, time freedom has just been, I get to choose when I get on meetings, or I get to choose when I work. If that means, like, prime example, today we have football practice after school.
Yes.
Will I work during football practice? Absolutely, I will. I will have my stadium chair or whatever, and I will be having my laptop in my lap working while I am watching him at football practice. But I will be there so that I can watch him, you know, when he has the ball, when he's playing. Like, I will stop what I'm doing to pay attention. But like, the fact that I don't have to be glued to like, nope, I can't leave my office, or no, I have to like be at a corporate job and I can't be there for practice, so I have to figure out somebody else to take him. Like, that's the time freedom. Or being able, we go to the gym every night as a family. Like, he goes to kids club, me and my husband go weightlifting. Like, the time freedom to be like, I'm having a timeout for an hour and a half to go take care of ourselves and like go play and make sure we're all healthy together. Or we sit down and have dinner together every night so that we can check in with each other and be like, how was your day? Tell me something exciting about you. How, like, one of my favorite questions to ask is, this is totally side tangent, is, how did you fail today? Because you learn more from failing than you do from winning. And I want my son to learn that, like, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fluctuate horribly on your face. And as long as you know, like, what did I learn from it? Or how can I do it better tomorrow? But having those moments to check in with him, or we're reading Harry Potter. Like, we read a chapter in Harry Potter every night before he goes to bed. Being able to be there for those things, that's time freedom for me. Being able to choose when and where I work. Like, you just went to Disney World. I cannot tell you how many times I go to Disneyland and I'm like in line for a ride and I'm like, hey, how are you? Like, I'm chatting with people. I'm working in line at Disneyland. So my husband's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. It's cool. Let's just keep going. I'm here. Like, it's choosing where I get to be.
And it's always like your choice. And I feel like people, like, I love to work. Like,
I do too.
The thought of only working 30 minutes a day actually kind of hurts my heart, because
100%.
I love what I do and who I do it with. Like, it fulfills me, not from a monetary standpoint. And I think when people don't get that, then they like start to place their own judgments on you.
100%.
And like, I'll never forget when I delivered Boone. A lot like you at Disneyland, I was checking in with some clients and I got scolded by another mom or another woman. I don't know if she was a mom. And I just didn't even entertain it, because I was like, no one's forcing me to check. Like, my clients genuinely care about me, and they're like, hey, like, if you think about it, like, let me know how surgery went, how baby's doing, how you're doing. And so, like, when you're not in this world, it does feel, I'm sure, so bizarre. It's like, you actually make money doing what you love. You can work anywhere, anytime. Your prices are what you want them to be. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of sacrifice as an entrepreneur, just as much as there is a mother, but like the payoff
is huge.
Like, I am unhireable. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I would be the worst employee because of the lifestyle I want. And so it's I have no other choice. Like,
I am the worst, like, I would be the worst employee. I would be the employee that's like, yeah, I'm coming to work in sweatpants.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have a dress code? Sorry, I don't wear clothes.
Suits, dresses,
But
hose.
no.
What are those?
I put on pants when I walk out my door purely so that I look put together. And then the second I'm back in my door, sweatpants go back on. Like, no.
Like, there's lots of ways to style sweatpants. Like, I am with you. I'm a leggings girl. Like, are you like a true, like, are your like, do you want baggy sweatpants? Like, what are sweatpants for you?
Like, it depends on the mood. Like, some days
Okay.
I'm like a full blown, like, I'm a jogger girl where they're like kind of tight at the bottom. And then I live in Vegas, so like I only get my sweatpants season for like
I
a
was about
very
to say,
short
it's
window.
pretty
of
hot.
time. Yeah. So then I have to switch to like sweat shorts or like spandex shorts, because then, you know, it's like 120 degrees and I can't go outside without melting some clothing article off my body.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not wear like jeans or normal clothes unless I like know I'm going somewhere
Now,
where I have to.
how do you feel about bras? Like, are you pretty similar? Like, yeah.
I'm like sports bras, or they're off, or
They're
like no underwire. Like, please, like, nope, we're doing comfort all the way.
let us know in the chat if we've got friends or if we're alone in this conversation. So bras, yay or nay?
Seriously,
Sweatpants, yay or nay? Like, let us know in the comments.
Right,
because...
my husband. Oh, he comes home. He's like, "Are you even wearing a bra today?" I'm like, I feel attacked. Like, if you had to wear one, you would know. Like,
right.
I'm just saying, you would know what it feels like to be strapped into something all day long.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to wear it.
I honestly cannot remember the last time I wore an actual wired bra.
No,
like, it's before Brian was born. Like,
a wedding, I think maybe, like, it had like it was like a corseted dress, so it like had to be like sucked in there, and I'm like, sucked in. That was like years ago.
Exactly.
Ugh, no. Allergic.
So for somebody that's like, man, when I look at my day-to-day life and what I do desire, I don't have the time freedom that I really want. What would be your advice to them? Like, how can they make some big changes, but also not to the point where they're like freaking out? So like coach the woman out there, mentor the woman out there, give her some encouragement. If she's like, yeah, I need to make some changes. Like, she's you before.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions out there too is, if you want to have this like time freedom or this like awesome business, that you have to like all of a sudden just drop the full-time job you have and walk away and be like, okay, I'm just going to magically make this work in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, like I'm full on for like, keep the full-time job, make sure you feel comfortable and secure and happy and you're okay. Like, you're taking care of those basic needs. Like, you're a mom, you have a family, you have to feed your kids. I get it. Like, we're in the same boat. Like, yeah, mine's a little different looking than yours, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So I always say, like, one of the first things I do with my clients is, let's take a look at everything that you know how to do and you can do it really well. Even if you're not doing it at your corporate job, like, you have skills that you probably are like, oh, no one's gonna pay me for that.
Yep.
They 1000% will pay you for that.
Yep.
Like, you'd be surprised how many things are out there.
Yes.
And then cross that list with things that you love doing, because there's always going to be something that you're like, oh my gosh, I love doing X, Y, and Z. Awesome sauce. Where do they intersect? That, like, you love doing something and you're actually really freaking good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Cross that list, and then that is where you start. Like, that's where I always tell everybody, I'm like, that's your launching spot. Not saying that you can't add on things as you go or learn new things as you go, but like, start there, because it's the thing that's most comfortable.
Yes.
And then build in your free time. So you work a corporate job and you're there from 8 to 4. Cool. Awesome. Spend a little time with your kids when you get home. And then when they go to bed, build at night.
Yes.
I cannot tell you how many times I like sit down in my bed. My husband's dead asleep. My kid's out. The dog's snoring at my feet. And I have Netflix on with my computer. And I am like knocking
It's relaxing.
Oh my gosh, it's like the best thing ever.
Yes.
Like,
that's still like one of my favorite pastimes.
Right? I'm like, I'll rewatch the same show over and over again. My husband's like, haven't you seen, it's a Grey's Anatomy. He's like, haven't you seen this like 4 times? I'm like, don't judge me. It's noise. Like, I know what's happening.
They're
this
your coworkers, Tegan.
They are. We have conversations. Yes, I know what their conversations are going to be already, and I know the choices they're going to make, but it's there. Like, So find the time. Do it at the park. I cannot tell you how many times I've taken my phone or my laptop to the park. I find a park bench.
Yep.
My kid knows. I'm like, hey, I am right here.
Yes.
Like, mom can see you. Don't go past this line or whatever. Granted, mine's a little older, so it might be a little harder for younger ones.
Right.
But or go to like one of those play centers where like they have one exit and you put yourself towards the exit,
Yeah.
and then just let them go run themselves out. And while they're running themselves wild, you work on your business.
Yes.
Like, you're there. You tunnel vision in for that hour and a half that you have while they're running out there. Or football practice, soccer practice, swimming practice. Take advantage of those little pockets of time and use them towards your advantage and build. Then the next step would be find the people that you want to work with that will pay you for the thing that you're really good at.
Yes.
And
like, I feel like people get so hung up on like, well, I don't know where to find people. What should my prices be? Do I need to incorporate my business? And I'm like, you are thinking of things like, take it one baby step at a time.
Yes.
Pick a price. Like, I started coaching women at $25 an hour.
Yeah.
It felt incredible. Like, pick a price. Like, you can be self-employed for now. Like, everyone's network is so much bigger than they even know. And it's like,
oh yeah,
pull open your friends list, go to your text messages, start to just talk about, hey, I'm starting to like take on clients with these needs. Like, do you know anyone? Like, it's just that encouragement, like, to like start, like, one teeny tiny baby step in those small, like, to your point, those small pockets of time, they really add up. They really fast.
Yeah. So they so add up. Like, or if you're not like, hey, I feel uncomfortable charging X amount of dollars. Like, the first client I ever took my business was free.
Yep.
I literally was like, hey, can I do this for nothing? I want to see if I can actually do it. Like,
yes. And that takes pressure off of you too. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, they're not going to turn away free. They're like, hell yes, here.
Yes.
Like, try it. And it was the trial run. I was like, I just want to try it for 2 weeks. If I can do it for 2 weeks, then instead of you having to pay me for it, can you pay me in referrals? Can you send me people that you know will do it and will pay me for it?
You nailed it.
Yeah. They were like, yeah, 100%. So I did it for 2 weeks, got her like huge results, and then she sent me a shit ton of referrals. Because what ended up happening was she sent one, and I got that person as a client at the prices that I wanted. I want to say the first client that I ever charged, it was like a $2,000 a month retainer. So it was like, it was nice. It was a good chunk. Like,
yes, mama.
And she was like, it happened to work with like an MLM company at the time, and she was the very first person in the MLM chain. Like, she was the very person. So everybody's watching her, and so all of a sudden, all of her stuff shifted, and she started to have these huge results. So everyone's reaching out. They're like, who are you working for? What are you doing different? And she's like, oh, I hired this girl. Oh my gosh, can I have her number? Yes, you can. And all of a sudden, it was just like a flood. So don't be afraid of doing things for free. Like, I know that you're like, I got into business and make money. Yes, you did. But
and
you're also, like, you totally will. But like, don't be afraid to do something for free if it gives you a bigger reward in the end. Like,
well, and you had a deadline. Like, I love this juicy strategy because you had a deadline, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And when you said pay and referrals, so you're still getting paid. Like, you didn't pick Joe Schmo off the street and like didn't vibe with them, right? Like, you were very intentional. Like, that was a very, very strategic move. Like, and it probably skyrocketed your confidence too.
Huge. Because like, not only is that short little burst of time, like, you know, like, okay, I have to get results in 2 weeks. Like, this is like a make or break it type of thing. So you focus really hard on that person, and then you get results, and then that person's like, holy shit, this person's amazing. I'm going to send her all the business. So then your business explodes. So like, it's okay to put yourself in those positions. And okay, so it failed. So the person's like, oh, that didn't work out. Like,
no one really loses any. Well, and to the point of like, when the question you ask your son, like, okay, maybe there were hiccups, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, or I need to learn, I need a software to help me, or like, it's still going to pay because you're going to learn what went wrong what you could have done better, and you're not going to feel the guilt or pressure because that person didn't just like pay you gobs and gobs of money. So
right.
that's still winning. Like,
that's still winning. Like a failure, like I've started to, this is a big lesson for me that I had to learn over the last couple of years, is like,
yeah,
failing is not a failure. A failure is just learning a lesson a different way.
Yeah.
So like I'm learning that, okay, that way didn't work. Well, let's try a different way. And
Yeah.
the other thing that's beautiful, this is the one that's huge for me, is I've been terrified of failing because I'm like, everyone can see me. I'm on the internet. I have thousands of followers. Everyone can see what I'm doing. And I'm like, I had this epiphany that last year it was, no one knows that you're failing because no one knows what you're doing unless
Yeah.
you openly tell them, like,
right.
hey, Pia, I'm doing this and I'm failing at it miserably.
Right.
No one knows. Like, I could totally flop tomorrow and no one would know that that was intentional. They'd be like, oh, that's really cool. She's doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But no, actually, it's me pivoting because the thing that I did flopped miserably. But no one knows. Right. I'm the only person that knows.
Yes.
So,
and then we stop ourselves so much, but it's like, like, if you're asking your son, how did you fail today? Like, you're normalizing it for him. Like, we get to normalize it for us too. Like, yeah, mommy, like, had this happen, right? Like,
oh, I do
it's
all the time. We sit down and I'm like, how did you fail? And he's like, well, how did you fail? I'm like, good question. Here's how mom failed today. Here's how mom's gonna be different tomorrow. Like,
I love this.
We do that so that we can learn that it's okay. Like, it's okay to fail. Oh my gosh, I would rather fail publicly miserably than not try it.
Well, and again, the payoff, right? Like,
huge.
You get to wear sweatpants, you get to be there for your son, never miss anything. So go fail more, right? Like,
the fact bigger.
Exactly. Yes. It's so true though. And it's like, when we just like normalize it and chill around it, and we don't get like all tense in our panties, all like up in a wedgie, and it's like, just like chill. Like, it's okay. Like, let's not make it a bigger deal than it needs 100%. To be. It's like, oh, technology wasn't working. Oh, okay. This client, wants to exit. Okay. Like, cool. Or whatever it may be. Like, there's opportunity out there, and I like us spending more time and energy there, or our self-care, or our family. Again, time freedom. It's like making sure we're keeping ourselves in check of like where we're putting our time.
Yeah. So, put on your own oxygen mask and adjust.
Yes, exactly. Well, I could talk to you for hours. Right? I love that you got to come on. I saw your name come through and I was like, yay! So glad. Well, and if people haven't connected with you, where can they find you? Talk about your ebook. Like, give us all the shameless plugs.
Yes. So, well, obviously, like, we're connected here on live. So I am on Instagram as either Miss Tegan Charlotte or Hey Independent Mama. That's my brand new Instagram. We're doing experiments over there. And I have a free ebook that shows you, if you're like, hey, I don't even know where to start. I want to start a business, but I don't know what to do. I have an ebook, a guide. It's like 18 pages long of 25 of the most profitable businesses to start in 2024. And it gives you like, here's what it is. Here's kind of how it works. This is what I would offer. And I even give you, like, if I was starting today, this is what I would charge when I started. Ooh, like, start here and then start to build. And like I said, totally free. You don't have to pay for it. Just download it, start building your business, because moms are awesome and we deserve a chance to do whatever we want. And then, of course, I have a free Facebook group if you want to come, like, network with a whole bunch of other moms who are also networking. Like, come join us there too.
I love that. Well, comment ebook below so Tegan can connect with you. Yes. Follow her on Instagram. Yes. And just like one last, give us one last juicy tip of moms on the freedom journey, and then we'll end.
One last juicy tip. I would just say, don't be afraid. Just go for it. Like, you're stronger than you think, and you're more powerful than you know. Like, don't doubt yourself, mom. You're awesome. Yes. So
we gave life. Like, we are keeping humans alive. Yeah. Like, again, that's way harder, I think, than building a business.
You built a body. Right. You built bones and muscles. That's way harder than making a business. Trust me. I would rather build a business from nothing than build a human again.
A freaking man. Like, yes. And every mom's journey is different. Like if you've had to like adopt or foster, like that's like, even if you didn't grow the baby, that's emotionally
holy cow, so much work.
so hard. So it's like,
So
yes,
hard.
we can build a business. Like piece of cake. Piece of
So
cake.
easy.
Yes.
So easy. You can
Yes.
multitask keeping your kid alive. You can totally do a business.
Yes, you've got this. Well,
Totally.
and you're a great resource
Awesome.
for all the moms out there. So make sure you
Thank
connect
you.
with Tegan. Say
Yeah.
hi to her. Thank you for
Yes.
coming on. I know we
Thank you
went
for
over,
inviting.
so thank you for
Okay.
hanging out today.
Yes, always. Okay.
All right. Have
Talk to
fun
you
in
later.
Vegas.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.